we go, let's get those wheels out on the road. It may get dusty, but that's the way she goes. We'll build some greasy old cars and drink our AGT. Hey, don't you know, it's partly built.
Welcome back, everybody, to another extremely cold afternoon in the garage. I've been out here for like an hour. I've had the fireplace going, and it's still cold in here. It's minus 19 Celsius outside, which means it's minus 19 in the garage. Actually, it's probably colder than that because it would have cooled off last night, and I'm not getting the heat of the sun in here. But it's chilly. Like, it's hands in pockets or wear gloves kind of weather in here. So, like I said, I've been out here for about an hour, and I've just been looking at and figuring out what I want to do for suspension for the actual mounts, not this little thin tube jig I have hanging here. And I've cut out some pieces of cardboard, and I'll kind of try and lay it out here and give you an idea what I'm thinking. Okay, so as you can see, I've just got this tubing tacked in here, and I cut out some cardboard. It's a little tough to try this because this tubing's in the way here, but I'll try and lay it out just a little bit ahead or behind on the frame so you can kind of get my idea. So this is going to sit under the frame. These bolt holes are going to line up. These bolt holes are going to line up, and then there's two on the inside of the frame here that are also going to line up. And then when this is in here, it sticks out just past this edge of this. So the plan is I'll bolt this in here on the bottom for now. Then I'll clean up and I'll weld the seam here. I'll weld the seam on the outside and the bottom. And then I'll also weld the shackle to it completely. And then I've got a piece to sit across the front, like that. A piece across the back. And then I have an outer piece that sits on here, going up to about the flat level of the frame. Of course, that would be in there. And then I have a top cap here to go across the top of the frame, then we'll weld it along the sides. I'll drill some holes in this top cap and I'll do some plug welds there as well, just so it's as strong as I can feasibly get it. But that's, looking at this, that's the strongest way I figured I could do it. I'll be braced to the bottom of the frame, the side of the frame, and the top of the frame. So it's going to take a lot to get all those welds to break. And I'm seriously considering just leaving bolts in these, even though you'll never be able to undo them, just for like an extra safety factor. I mean, I could plug weld them too. There's always that option. But I don't see any reason I should have to gusset more on the inside for it. I think that'll be plenty strong enough. So I can take all these plates to work and either cut them out by hand or just trace them on the arc droid and have it do 2 of each of them. And then that'll be my front suspension mounts. So my next issue is, what am I doing at the back here? So I ordered a heavier breaker for the garage so I can run the welder for more than 30 seconds. Because of course this broke off. So I had to hang it back up in position and retack it in multiple spots. But here's my plan with it. I'm going to fully weld everything on it. And then I'm going to do the same thing with it. I'm going to plate up to the frame, front, back, and both sides and try and box it to the back of the frame here. I don't know. I think it'll be plenty strong enough. If I really need to, like if I have issues with it bending or cracking, I can also build braces off the back of it farther down the frame for a little more strength. But I honestly think I'm probably overdoing it at the front, and the back will be plenty strong enough, at least for the power I'm at right now. And then I can move on to doing other stuff like the axle. I got the axle to the welder. He's going to get it all welded up. I mean, to me, I'm going to, anyway, the axle it's going to be done here in the next month or two. He's got a few things going on. So it'll be all ready to rock. So about a week and a half ago, December 23rd, I ordered some stuff from Speedway. And that stuff showed up the other day, and I'll show it to you in a minute. But that was $200 or $300 worth of stuff. And then I just ordered another 700-ish 2 nights ago. So I've got a lot of parts coming for this thing, or that might be used on this thing. Oh man, I ordered all kinds of stuff. I'll have to go through my phone here and show you. But in the meantime, I'll show you what I did get. A block for the suspension. I'm not sure if it's actually going to work, but all the ones they offered are the same width. This is actually wider than my spring. So I don't know how much I'll trust that, but I might just have to make my own. And I ordered a tie rod for the car with Heim joints. So I should be able to do the tie rod from one side to the other. I have a steering box picked out. And I figured out how I need to do my steering for the most part. So I might just order a second one of those kits because like the price was really decent on it. And I believe I can shorten them. I'll just have to, when I open this one up, when I go to use it, I'll figure out whether I can shorten it or not. I might just have to figure out my length and order a weldable one or a shorter one to do my drag link. And then I got the main part, the most important thing for the car. I got my glitter steering wheel. That's right, purple glitter steering wheel. So now, I don't even have a steering column, but now I have a straight axle and a purple glitter steering wheel, so I have an actual gasser now, and no one can dispute that, because this right here, that's the linchpin in my plan. So I grabbed my phone so I could tell you actually what I've ordered. I did 2 different orders. Like I said, I ordered that extra block, and I ordered a floor mount hydraulic clutch pedal assembly, and I don't know how well you'll see this on my phone, but basically that pedal assembly. And then on the other order, I kind of went a little crazy because some stuff was on sale and some stuff was just on my list. So I ordered like a cast aluminum throttle pedal. It's a hanging one. I really should have got a floor mount, but I'd already done this order when I kind of figured out that I'm an idiot. So I may use it, I may not. It comes with a throttle cable too. I ordered taillights, taillight lenses, because you gotta have blue dot taillight lenses. And I mean, they're like 16 bucks a piece. So I also ordered some wedge plates to set the angle of the axle, and I ordered 2 sets of them so that if I have to go quite a bit of angle, I should hopefully be all right. And that'll all come down to when I go to figure out my caster in the car. And like, I'll have to do some research before I actually set it up, but anyway. I also ordered, like I said, the floor mount Wilwood pedal assembly without a master on it. And then when I decide whether I'm doing disc brakes or keeping the drums on the back, I can decide what I need for a master cylinder and proportioning valve and residual check valve. And then I also ordered some weld-on spring mounts. Because if I do go coils in the back because I'm too cheap to buy coilovers, I'll need mounts to weld to both the axle and to the body. So I ordered 4 of them because they were literally on sale for $1.99 a piece. So 4 of them, even if I don't use them for this, it's not a terrible thing to have 4 coil spring mounts. So like I said, I ordered like $700 worth of stuff. Well, 700 Canadian, so it's like 20 bucks US. That'll hopefully help us keep going on this. I just quick measured my back axle. I definitely have to narrow the 9-inch. Like, I'm 65 from the outside of the brake shoes, which is like an inch away from the face of the axle flange. So I'm like 66 inches wide on my axle flanges, like my wheel flanges. And I'm only like 68 inches total body width. So I'm going to have to narrow that axle by probably 3 or 4 inches. We'll see once we kind of get to working on the rear end what I need to do there. But at least I have to shorten it. I don't have to lengthen it, which would be I'd have to buy tubes. But yeah. So I don't know how much more I'm going to do out here today, because I can't really weld much anymore, because especially in the cold, the welder trips the breaker if you weld for more than like 15 consecutive seconds. So we'll just leave some welding until the breaker shows up in a week. And the weather's supposed to warm up, which will make it a lot nicer to work in here. Like I said, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to cut out those plates so that I can do my front suspension, and then I'll bring my scraps back so that I can figure out my gussets on the back stuff. And then once the axle shows up again after it gets welded, I can start reassembling it and putting wheels on and putting the front end down. I might still, actually I could do that now. I might build the bracket for the bell housing across the frame so I can get rid of the jack stand under the engine. And then when I put it on the front suspension, I'll actually be able to see what the weight of the engine alone is going to do. Once I get the welder, I can try and fix the frame here too, where the cross member's all ripped out. But I don't know, I'm just going to keep digging through stuff in here and see if there's anything else I can tinker on. So I'll catch you in the next one. Hopefully the weather's a little nicer. Hopefully I've got some stuff so we can actually get some work done on this. But I guess you're about to see that, so see you then. It's been a couple days, so we're back in the garage. I purchased a new grinder today and a wire wheel so that I can clean up this frame. So when we go to weld it, we can actually maybe get some penetration and some decent welds. I mean, it's me, so how decent will they be? My breaker was supposed to show up today. Said it was out for delivery, but it never did show up. So hopefully it'll be here tomorrow. And also, I got a fan for the wood stove. One of those induction heat fans, convection heat, whatever you call them. I went to Canadian Tire and they're like 150 to 250 bucks. $40 on Amazon, so we'll see if it's any good. So maybe we'll get some warmth in here. I mean, it also helps that it's 10 degrees warmer today than it was last time we were in here. It's only about minus 12 right now. Tomorrow night, it's supposed to be like minus 6. And then it's going to stay in that range for the next few days. So it'll actually be decent out here to get some work done on this thing. But in the meantime, I went to work today and dug through the scrap bin and I found the sills from a gravel box that we're putting new sills on because they were rusted through. So I took the good chunk and took the plasma cutter and cut a bunch of pieces out and then brought a piece of it with me home. So I got some more scrap metal, and this is like 3/16 steel, not quite quarter inch, but 3/16, so that should be plenty thick enough. I gotta clean it up, get all the scale off it, all the slag from the plasma cutter, clean up the edges, and get some holes drilled in it. So, hence the new grinder. So we're not struggling with batteries with the cordless one. Cordless one works great, but batteries don't like the cold. It's an older unit, like it's probably 5-6 years old, so it's not near as good as a modern one anyway. But you still can't beat a 120 grinder, especially a 5-inch Makita. This is literally the grinder that has built North America. So a little pricey for me, but worth every penny, I think. So yeah, I got my templates here, so I know my holes. I'll clean these plates up, and I might just tack the plates together so I can grind them identical. And we'll get some holes drilled, and then we'll see if we can't start bolting stuff in place and seeing if my cardboard templates transferred over to steel are actually going to work for what I'm doing here. So I'll get after that. Got the grinder. Let's cut into a shoddy fabricating montage. Well guys, there you go. That's exactly how much welding you can do before the breaker blows. So now you see I wasn't exactly exaggerating, but I'll throw 2 more tacks on this, then I'll mark my holes, I'll get them drilled, and I'll start grinding it. And this is my base plates. I'll be able to cut off the jig mount these base plates, make sure I'm happy with them. Then I can start cleaning up my other pieces and tacking them on. I guess I can't even tack them on until I'm done welding these plates in. But I can clean the frame up, get all that ready. So I'll keep going here. Like sizzling bacon. All right. Before anybody says anything, I know, safety glasses. I can't find any of my glasses in the garage, so safety squints. Okay. Center punch them and drill them. All right. Back to the shitty fab montage. Alright, I'm going to do some off-camera cleaning up here, and I'll finish stripping that jig off the frame. Well, as you can tell by the smoke and the rust hanging in the air, I got all the grinding done, I ground down the frame, and I'll show you here, I got the plates bolted in, and I just tacked the spring perches to the bottoms of the plates, and then I'll pull the plates back off, I'll weld the perches to them. I'll put the plate back on and I'll weld the plate and all that. I just wanted to bolt them, get them centered so my springs still move nicely, and then tack them so that when I put them on the table to weld them, so that I'm not welding it all overhead, it comes out pretty good. I'll show you here. So as you can see, the plate is bolted on, 4 bolts into the frame, and then the perch is bolted on with 2 bolts. And the spring can move, nothing's binding. And I did the same on the other side, but I gotta weld that frame up there and stuff before I get too carried away. This side of the frame's not broken, so it's not as bad. But yeah, so next step will be, once my breaker shows up, pop these off and weld the perches onto these fully, and then I probably will get rid of the bolts. And then same thing here, I'll bolt this back onto the frame, I'll weld this on both sides, and then I'll pull the bolts out because there's no point in them being there, and then eventually I'll weld the underside. So now that that's all done, I'm going to shut the camera off, call it a night. Well, I'll probably do a bit more grinding on these plates, get these plates cleaned up enough that when I'm ready, I can just fit them and weld them in. And I gotta wait for the fire to burn down a little bit anyway. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully in the next one we're finishing up the suspension completely at the front here. And then, like I said, I got all that extra metal from that sill plate to brace in the back one. We'll weld the back in. I'll get that all ground down, ready to rock. I'll weld the frame. And yeah. It'll be donezo with the suspension in the front end for now until the axle comes back, and then we can bolt that in, put the hubs on, we can set a set of wheels on it, and we can start dealing with steering and whatnot. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you hopefully next week. I've been luckily putting them out every week here for the last 3-4 weeks, so trying to keep up the pace. And I think pretty soon we're going to start on the Galaxy again, because I've got a bunch of parts piled up and the Crown Vic is ready to be stripped down to the bare frame. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.